Stop. If your car is shaking when you brake, squealing when you slow down, or grinding every time you press the pedal, do not just buy new brake pads yet. You might be throwing money away, because sometimes the pads are the problem, but other times the real issue is the rotor surface the pads are squeezing against. And this is where many people get it wrong. They hear brake noise and immediately replace the pads, only to realize the vibration is still there, the pedal still pulses, or the new pads start wearing unevenly because the rotors were already damaged. Brake pads and rotors work together, but their failure is totally different. Pads will usually wear down and cause squealing, scraping, grinding, or weak stopping. Rotors usually cause steering wheel shake, brake pedal pulsation, vibration when braking, deep grooves, heat spots, or uneven braking. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to tell if it's your brake pads or your rotors before you touch a single bolt. You'll learn the symptoms that separate them, how to inspect both parts, and how to fix each one step by step without guessing. So with that said, let's get right into the video, and first, let's see why bad brake pads and bad rotors get confused and misdiagnosed. First, why do people confuse brake pads and rotors so often? One reason people confuse brake pad issues with rotors is because both of them can cause brake noise. Both can affect stopping distance. They can make the brake pedal feel different. And they both can create a situation where the car does not stop smoothly. But what matters is not just that the brakes are making noise. What matters is the type of noise, when it happens, and what you feel through the steering wheel or brake pedal. A bad brake pad usually announces itself through sound first. You may hear squeaking, squealing, scraping, or grinding. That noise often happens because the pad material is worn low, the wear indicator is touching the rotor, or the pad surface is contaminated, glazed, cracked, or uneven. A bad rotor usually announces itself through feel. You may feel vibration in the steering wheel, pulsing in the brake pedal, shaking when slowing down, or uneven braking. That usually happens because the rotor surface is no longer smooth. The rotor has thickness variation, deep grooves, rust buildup, heat spots, or uneven pad deposits. So if the main symptom is noise, think pads first. If the main symptom is vibration while braking, think rotors first. But do not stop there, because pads and rotors can damage each other. The one difference that changes everything. Brake pads wear down. Brake rotors wear unevenly, warp from heat, rust, or become damaged by bad pads. That single difference explains most symptoms. Brake pads are designed to wear out. Every time you press the brake pedal, a small amount of friction material wears away. Over time, the pad becomes thinner until there is not enough material left to safely stop the car. Rotors are different. They do wear down slowly, but they usually become a problem when their surface becomes uneven, grooved, overheated, or too thin. Once the rotor surface is bad, even brand new brake pads may not make the car stop smoothly. That is why replacing pads without checking rotors is a very common mistake. If the rotor surface is damaged, the new pads are forced to brake in against a bad surface, and the brake job may feel bad from the beginning. Signs of bad brake pads. Bad brake pads often show up first as noise. The most common sign is squealing when braking. Many brake pads have a small metal wear indicator built into them. When the pad material becomes too thin, that indicator touches the rotor and makes a high-pitched squealing noise to warn you that the pads are low. Another sign is scraping or grinding. This is more serious. Grinding can mean the pad material is completely worn out and the metal backing plate is rubbing against the rotor. If you keep driving like that, the rotor can get deeply damaged very quickly. You may also notice the car takes longer to stop. When brake pads are thin, glazed, contaminated with grease, or overheated, they cannot create the same friction as healthy pads. The brake pedal may feel normal, but the car just does not stop as confidently. Another sign is brake dust or uneven pad wear. If one pad is much thinner than the other, the caliper slide pins may be stuck, The caliper may not be moving properly, or the pad may be jammed in the bracket. In that case, simply replacing the pads without cleaning and lubricating the hardware can make the same problem come back. You may also feel the car pulling to one side when braking. Sometimes this can be caused by uneven pad wear, a sticking caliper, contaminated pads, or brake fluid pressure issues. So the key pattern is this: squealing, scraping, grinding, thin pad material, poor stopping, and uneven pad wear point strongly toward brake pads. But if the brake pedal shakes, the steering wheel vibrates, or the whole car pulses when you slow down, you should start thinking more seriously about the rotors. Signs of bad brake rotors. Bad brake rotors are often felt more than heard. The classic sign is vibration when braking. If you press the brake pedal at highway speed and the steering wheel shakes, the front rotors may have thickness variation, uneven pad deposits, or surface problems. If the vibration feels more through the seat or the whole car, the rear rotors may be involved. Another sign is brake pedal pulsation. The pedal may push back or pulse under your foot as the rotor rotates. That happens because the brake pads are contacting uneven rotor surfaces instead of a smooth, flat disc. You may also hear grinding or scraping if the rotor has deep grooves, rust ridges, or has already been damaged by worn-out pads. A rotor can also cause a humming or rough scraping sound if the surface is badly corroded. Another major sign is visible scoring. If you look through the wheel and see deep grooves, rough lines, heat spots, cracks, or heavy rust on the rotor face, that rotor may need resurfacing or replacement. Rotors can also become too thin. Every rotor has a minimum thickness specification. If the rotor is below that specification, it cannot safely absorb and release heat. A rotor that is too thin is more likely to overheat, vibrate, crack, or fade under braking. So the key pattern is this: steering wheel shake, brake pedal pulsation, visible grooves, heat spots, rust damage, and uneven braking point strongly toward rotors. The pattern that separates guessing from diagnosis. Before replacing anything, ask these questions. Do you hear a high-pitched squeal mostly when braking? That often points toward worn brake pads or pad wear indicators. Do you hear grinding, especially every time you brake? That may mean the pads are worn down to metal and the rotors may already be damaged. Does the steering wheel shake when braking at higher speeds? That usually points more toward front rotor problems. Does the brake pedal pulse under your foot? That points more toward rotor thickness variation or uneven rotor surface. Does the car stop poorly but without vibration? That may be bad pads, glazed pads, contaminated pads, or brake hydraulic issues. Can you see deep grooves or heavy rust on the rotor? That points toward rotor damage. Are the pads thin, uneven, cracked, or worn at an angle? That points toward pad wear, caliper slide problems, or hardware issues. These clues help you narrow it down, but inspection is what confirms it. How to inspect brake pads and rotors. Start with safety. Park on a flat surface. Set the parking brake if you are not working on the rear brakes. Loosen the lug nut slightly. Lift the car with the correct jack point and support it with jack stands. Never rely on the jack alone. Remove the wheel and look at the brake pads through the caliper. If the friction material is very thin, usually around 3 millimeters or less, the pads should be replaced. If the pad material is uneven, cracked, crumbling, glazed, or contaminated with oil or grease, the pads should be replaced. Now look at both the inner and outer pads. This is very important because sometimes the outer pad may look okay while the inner pad is nearly gone. If one pad is much thinner than the other, inspect the caliper slide pins and hardware. Next, inspect the rotor. Run your eyes across the rotor surface. Light marks are normal, but deep grooves, heavy scoring, blue heat spots, cracks, Rough rust patches or a raised lip at the edge are signs the rotor may need resurfacing or replacement. Then, check rotor thickness if you have a micrometer. Compare the measurement to the minimum thickness stamped on the rotor or listed in the service information. If the rotor is below minimum thickness, replace it. Do not machine it. Also check whether the rotor surface is smooth enough for new pads. If the rotor is badly grooved or uneven, new pads alone are not enough. How to fix bad brake pads step by step. If the rotors are still smooth, thick enough, and not vibrating, you may be able to replace only the pads. But if the rotors are damaged, replace or resurface them at the same time. Start by removing the caliper bolts. Carefully lift the caliper away from the bracket. Do not let it hang by the brake hose. Support it with a hook, bungee cord, or place it safely where it does not stress the hose. Remove the old brake pads. Pay attention to how the clips, shims, and hardware are positioned so you can install the new parts correctly. Inspect and clean the caliper bracket. Rust and dirt can stop the new pads from sliding properly. Use a wire brush where the pad ears sit. Replace the hardware clips if your new pad set includes them. Now check the caliper slide pins. They should move smoothly. If they are dry, stuck, rusty, or hard to move, remove them, clean them, and apply the correct brake lubricant. Do not use regular grease. Use brake-specific lubricant that can handle heat and rubber components. Before installing the new pads, compress the caliper piston slowly using a C-clamp or brake piston tool. Open the brake fluid reservoir cap and watch the fluid level so it does not overflow. If the piston is hard to compress, stop and inspect the caliper. Install the new brake pads with the correct shims and hardware. Apply a small amount of brake lubricant only to the contact points where the pad ears touch the bracket, not on the friction material and not on the rotor surface. Reinstall the caliper, tighten the bolts to the correct specification, and make sure everything sits correctly. Before driving, pump the brake pedals several times until it becomes firm. This moves the caliper piston back into position. If you skip this step, the pedal may go low the first time you press it. Then reinstall the wheel, tighten the lug nuts properly, lower the car, and torque the lug nuts in a star pattern. After replacing pads, bed them in according to the pad manufacturer's instructions. This helps transfer an even layer of friction material onto the rotor and reduces noise, vibration, and uneven braking. How to fix bad rotors step by step. If the rotor is deeply grooved, cracked, heavily rusted, below minimum thickness, or causing vibration, it should be replaced. Some rotors can be resurfaced if they are still thick enough, but many modern rotors are better replaced because they do not have much extra material. To replace the rotor, remove the wheel, remove the caliper, and support it safely. Then remove the caliper bracket bolts. These bolts may be tight, so use the correct socket and be careful not to round them. Once the bracket is off, remove the rotor. Some rotors have a small retaining screw. If it is stuck, use the correct bit and penetrating oil. If the rotor is rusted to the hub, tap it evenly with a hammer around the hat area, not the braking surface you plan to reuse. After removing the old rotor, clean the wheel hub surface. This step is very important. Rust or debris between the hub and new rotor can cause rotor runout, which can lead to vibration even with new parts. Install the new rotor after cleaning its surface with brake cleaner to remove protective oil. Avoid touching the braking surface with greasy hands. Reinstall the caliper bracket and tighten the bolts to specification. Install the pads, compress the caliper piston if needed, reinstall the caliper, and tighten everything correctly. If you replace rotors, it is usually best to install new pads too. Old pads can have grooves or uneven wear that do not match the new rotor surface. Reusing bad pads on new rotors can create noise and uneven braking. Once everything is assembled, pump the brake pedal until firm, check brake fluid level, reinstall the wheels, torque the lug nuts, and test the brakes carefully at low speed before normal driving.
The mistakes that cost the most money.
The first mistake is replacing pads without checking the rotors. If the rotor is damaged, the new pads may not fix the noise or vibration. The second mistake is replacing rotors but reusing bad pads. That can damage the new rotor surface. The third mistake is ignoring stuck slide pens. If the caliper cannot move smoothly, the new pads will wear unevenly. The fourth mistake is putting grease on the pad friction material or rotor surface. That can ruin braking performance. The fifth mistake is forgetting to pump the brake pedal before driving. After a brake job, the pedal may go low until the caliper pistons move back into position. And the sixth mistake is not bedding in the brakes. New pads and rotors need a proper break-in process to stop smoothly and quietly. So here is the simple way to remember it. Bad brake pads usually cause squealing, scraping, grinding, thin friction material, poor stopping, and uneven pad wear. Bad rotors usually cause steering wheel shake, brake pedal pulsation, visible grooves, heat spots, rust damage, and vibration when braking. If the problem is mostly noise, inspect the pads first. If the problem is mostly vibration or pulsing when braking, check the rotors first. But do not replace only one part blindly. Inspect the pads, inspect the rotors, check the caliper slides, check the hardware, and make sure everything moves freely. Because once you understand the difference between brake pad symptoms and rotor symptoms, brake problems stop being confusing. They become logical. And when you stop guessing, you stop wasting money. Now, the next mistake I see a lot of people make is confusing the CV axle with wheel bearing and suspension problems. And I'll have a video linked here and in the description below this video to help differentiate and diagnose each one accurately.